Next up on Man vs Pixels, I've been playing Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus is a first-person shooter, third in the series of the Metro games, uh, developed by 4A Games, published by Deep Silver. Came out in 2019. Let's get into it. This is strictly first impressions only. I've only played it for a couple of hours, but I'm sorry to say those first couple of hours didn't grab me at all. So that's why this is just a first impressions video, because those first impressions were not good. Those first couple of hours, it was very slow, dull even, I'll even say dull, boring. Most of it, you seem to be just a spectator, not watching cutscenes so much, although there is quite a long sort of cutscene at the beginning, but not cutscenes. You're in game, but you're not in control of your character. You're kind of just standing around watching other people talk or watching some event unfold. There seemed to be, very little of that first 2 hours where you were actually playing, and a lot of when you were playing, it was just follow the leader, like kind of like the old Call of Duties back in the day where you just follow someone for the whole map. This was kind of like that. When you were in charge, you were just going somewhere where someone told you to go, following someone. Oh, let's go this way, duck here. I know this is supposed to be a bit of a tutorial section, but it wasn't good. When the game did open up a bit after that first sort of section, it didn't really get much better. I think one of the things that the Metro series did really well in the first two games, and I liked the first two games a lot, was the setting, the Metro, the tunnels, the claustrophobic underground nature of it. When you go outside, it's an event, like just having a little bit of on the surface to get from one spot to another, and then going back down in the tunnels. It was dangerous to go outside. The tunnels were, the setting of the game, and they worked really well. But this game kind of opens up and sets you on the surface, and to be honest, it just feels like Fallout. It really does. It looks like Fallout. Some of the characters just look like they're wearing Brotherhood of Steel power armor. The stuff, it looks like Fallout, feels like Fallout, and it's probably got worse combat than Fallout, to be honest. I wasn't enjoying the combat. Like, again, things in the first two games that I liked, the scarcity of ammo, where avoiding combat was always your best option, sneaking through, conserving ammo, taking people out with melee takedowns or throwing knives when you could to avoid shooting valuable bullets. That was all stuff I liked in the first game, but now it just seems like a completely unnecessary chore. It just seems frustrating now. Again, the crafting and having to craft your own ammo, pain in the arse now. It just seems, it doesn't feel like it adds tension or danger to the game anymore. I guess it might be something to do with being in an open air setting now. Doesn't feel like you should have to do that. It might just be me, but it didn't feel good. And like the gun, the weapon degradation, like if your weapon gets dirty, it starts firing slower. It'll jam. You have to press the reload button to cure the jam. The very first time that happened, I knew, oh, this is just going to be a pain in the arse for the rest of the game. This is going to be, every time this happens, you're just going to be cursing. It's not a fun gameplay mechanic. So that was just all these things just added up. It was just one unnecessary frustration on top of another. It just added up to those bad first impressions. And again, I'll say that this is only first impressions, but when those first impressions make you just not want to play the game anymore, then that's a bad sign. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. Had a few performance issues as well. Didn't seem to run well. It seems a bit stuttery every now and then. There was one time I had a really long lockup when I changed some graphic settings. I changed the anti-alias in, like in the middle while I was playing. Just put up the graphics menu, changed the anti-alias in, locked up for like 30 seconds. I thought it completely. Then it started come up with a thing saying, "Oh, changing graphic settings," and a percentage counter, 1% to, and it went up, quite slowly, and it took like a minute for it to change the graphic settings. And I was after a 30-second lockup. I thought, I've never seen this in a game before. Usually you change the anti-alias and it changes. It doesn't require a fucking full-on graphics progress bar after a 30 seconds of no activity. And then it had a complete lockup and had to be forced closed after changing an audio setting. I turned on Dolby Atmos during the game and it just locked up. Couldn't do anything. Spent a couple of minutes trying to get it back, but no, I had to force close it in the end. So that weren't good. That was again just more little frustrations, little niggles on top of the ones that I was already having with the game itself. It seemed like a bit of a, I don't know, a console port. I'm not sure if it is or not. It just said there was a lacking of options in the graphics and audio section. There was no option for like full screen, windowed or borderless, which is usually a sign that it's just been ported from console without much in the way of options being put in that you'd expect on the PC version. So yeah, those were issues as well. So yeah, all in all, the first 2 hours mostly boredom and frustrating niggles, and I'm afraid that first impression just didn't make me want to continue to play the game. So I pretty much stopped playing it there. I uninstalled it and moved on. I've got too many games to play. I've got too many games waiting to be in my Steam library and elsewhere to persevere with a game that creates a bad first couple of hours. It doesn't get that second chance. I'm afraid I've got to move on to something that is going to give me the enjoyment I want out of a video game. So I've got to be pretty ruthless. So I'm afraid that was Metro Exodus. Thanks for watching.